Everybody wants to know how to make one of these, so I'm going to do a full tutorial on how to make one. So you need a 6x9 speaker or 6.5, whatever you want to use. This is a 6x9 Marine Pile cheap speaker. This is an Apache 3800 case. This is an Apache 2800 case, which we're going to be using in this one. A little bit smaller. It will still fit all this. You just have to maneuver things around a little bit different because that one has more room. So the first thing we did was take out all of the foam out of the case. And I'll have extensions to this video because I'm not going to add the switch to it or anything yet. All I'm going to do is show you how to cut the hole in this part and then mount the speaker, and then we'll go on to part 2, part 3, which part 2 will be like wiring up a removable board and stuff like that. So here I've got it laid out. I have a 6x9 template. You can order a template. You can just wait until your speakers get here, or you can try to eyeball it, but I don't recommend that. So you trace it out. Use a step bit or a drill bit to drill a hole so you can put your jigsaw in it, and we're going to go ahead and just cut this out. I know for the speakers I'm using right now, I have to go a little bit past this line, but most speakers are going to fit right in this template. I want to remind everybody of, you're cutting plastic, and if you have a dull blade, you're going to see it melt, and if you grab that melted piece of plastic, it's going to be very hot, so let it cool before you start taking it apart and really cleaning it up. Okay, now that the hole's cut, we can test fit it. We see it fits really well. It's got just a hair of movement, which is perfect. Now we've got to mark all the way around evenly because we've got to cut these ribs off, and that can be a little difficult. That's why the Apache cases, although they're cheap, can be a little bit more of a pain than a Pelican, because a Pelican's only got a few ribs that have to be cut off. These have a whole cross section, but it does make it stronger on the side. Somebody's going to ask is, do you actually have to cut these ribs out? And the answer to this is no. You could just put a nice fat bead of silicone around here and seal it and still have it clamped very nicely. All this is doing is making it a little bit flatter and less likelihood of leaks. But if you're not worried about it actually being watertight, you could get away with not doing this step. Removing the ribs, there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can use an oscillating tool like I'm using, which just cuts right underneath, and then you just sand a little bit, or you can just sand it straight down. The only problem is sanding it, it tends to melt, or you gotta go. It's getting kind of dark out here, so went ahead and finished it up without the time lapse all the way on, but now it fits nice and snug, good tight fit. We'll tighten it down, and we'll put the grill on, make sure everything's lined up, get the holes right. Take it back off, put the silicone under it, and we'll be good to go.